I heard your words, brother, and they didn't just echo. They thundered in the hollow places of men who've carried silence like a cross. You spoke of the system, but what I heard was scripture, rewritten by prophet. The temples of family turned to markets, the altars replaced by contracts, and love taxed like sin. I felt it. That ancient ache between Adam's rib and the world's indifference. The place where a man once built a home and now stands before a courtroom instead. We live in a land where justice is currency and mercy is on back order. But still, we rise. Not because the world applauds, but because God still breathes through the ruins. You said they turned fatherhood into funding. I say they tried to turn manhood into myth. But the sons of dust don't forget the breath of their maker. We were formed for more than invoices and visitation hours. We were formed to guard the garden, even if the garden now grows thorns. It is certain that many a men have walked through that valley, the valley where laughter becomes memory, where your child's voice rings out in dreams and the morning feels heavier for having heard it. But somewhere in that darkness, God whispered, "You are not done." He did not create men to be erased. The same hands that built the ark in the rain built us, to endure the flood, not curse it. So we stand, not in bitterness, but in covenant, not in vengeance, but in vision. For if the world profits from our ruin, then our healing is rebellion. And every act of love we give, despite the pain, becomes a sermon the darkness cannot silence. There is scripture written in our scars, gospel carved into the patience of a father waiting at a gate. We are not martyrs, we are builders returned. Men who have learned that the sword of truth must sometimes be held in one hand, while you cradle your hope in the other. So let the machine grind, let it mock and measure. We'll be here, planting seeds in scorched soil, trusting that what is sown in sorrow will rise in strength. Because faith was never meant for comfort. Faith was the fire that led Abraham from the known into the unknown. And we too are called, not to escape the storm, but to walk through it until our sons can see the dawn. Remember, brother, the book says, He restores the years the locusts have eaten. So even if the courts took your time, your laughter, your seasons, God will multiply what's left. Because love that endures injustice becomes eternal. And though this world may strip your name from paper, heaven writes it in fire. All the decent men who are here, in the now, we are witnesses, not of defeat, but of resurrection. For every man who stood alone in that gray silence and still whispered, "I will not hate." For every father who turned grief into growth, pain into prayer, and silence into signal. We are not what they said we were. We are what God says we are. Anchors, shepherds, keepers of light. The last honest men, standing in a civilization that forgot how to kneel. So keep building, brother. Keep writing. Keep speaking into the void until it listens. Because truth doesn't die, it waits. And when the next generation wakes, when your son asks, "Why did you keep going?" you will look him in the eye and say, "Because I was chosen to hold the line. Because love demanded I stay. Because faith is what remains when everything else is taken away." And in that moment, he will know who you are. And the world, for the first time in a long time, will remember what a father looks like.